go ahead and express what's going on over here. Um, that was kind of weird. The door was right there. Um, oh, ain't it good to be just free of stuff? Have you ever felt like you're really bottled up and you don't know what it is, but you feel like it's an overwhelming, pressuring feeling? You feel like your conscience is seared, like you just things are just bland and you can't go anywhere. Um, that's exactly how I was feeling for like a little bit. I think y'all seen it, but I just tried to fight it through and you know, go about my day because life is life and life be life, and so just live your life how it is, right? Um, but um, today I was able to see some things a little bit clearer, and because of that, I was like, you know what? I need to share that on my video. So yeah, I wanted to talk about clarity, okay? And I will also like to say that. No, I won't say that then. I won't say that now. Um, Me being a person that went through a lot of spiritual warfare, and not only a person who has been through it, but who, recently went through it, but has been through it most of their lives based off of their background and what they was brought into this world. I'll say that. Some of it because of my actions, and a lot of it is due to no fault of my own. Always known that. Um, but I understand that there was always a price to pay. There's always a price to pay. Even our actions, our parents' actions, there's always a price to pay, whether we pay it or somebody else pays it. There's always a price to pay. And so, when we neglect our our um our sound reasoning and the methods to do right when we can, it can leave some of our generations messed up. And that is what happened to me. Um, Recently, the attack that I had, I found out it was because of some of the mistakes that I made too, on top of what happened. But the mistake that I made was generational. Um, and so, um, I didn't know. I did. Let me tell you this. I'll take that back. I did at first. I didn't know, but I had an inkling. I know in the spiritual realm I was being warned. God was literally warning me and telling me who it was, because the information that I found out, I didn't get it verbal until I found out spiritually first, about a person that I was connected to. And so, and I went off of that. I went off of that. I don't care. I know a lot of people are like, well, you can't go off your dreams. You can't go off of this. You can't go off that. Listen, I go off my intuition, okay? Even my personality profile bases it off of intuition. I'm more, even though I think, doesn't mean that I don't think, but my superpower is intuition. My intuition is usually right, okay? And I had to really question it when I have to explain it. I don't question it when it is very intense and something I don't have anything that's blocking me to do so. So, um, oh, this turn. So yeah, okay. I just didn't let it. I went based off of what I was spiritually told, spiritually said, and so yeah. Um, After that whole thing went out, I remember I remember having instances where I would have visions and dreams of someone with a name that I was not familiar with, which I thought was an old classmate of mine. But it didn't match the person. Now I know where it came from years later. But it was because this person was literally spiritually attacking me, you know. And not only God was showing me and revealing it to who was doing it, because I kept having dreams. I had people from all different walks of life tell me, like, and I couldn't add it together. I'm like, what? That sounds weird. Like, I'm telling y'all, if somebody come up to you and say somebody's doing something, just pray over it and be like, God, please knock it down. If it's something that you can do to remove yourself from it, which I had already did, yeah. But move yourself from it. You know, move yourself from it, do better, and keep going. But this person was ruthless. Okay, she was really insecure, very ruthless, and when I say ruthless, ruthless, God is even bringing to remembrance because now I'm able to receive it. At first, when it was being shown to me, I was just kept rejecting it because it was so frightening. Some things are so frightening, deep down in your stomach it's true, but it looks like it's unbelievable. But I got confirmation. So I knew it was right on the money. Um, what was happening? Um, and this person was just doing all kind of crazy stuff. I had this person tell me, um, via Instagram. Not only via Instagram, I had another person tell me in person that the person was working mirror magic on me. I never knew what that was, but I remember being in the mirror, and when I got in the mirror, somebody was like, I felt somebody saying all this crazy stuff to me, and I felt like something stabbing me and arrows getting shot at me in this mirror. So I literally had to cover. This was 2016. I literally had to cover my mirrors up, y'all. I knew nothing about protecting myself or anything through that whole thing. I hadn't even heard about mirror magic. I just felt like somebody was screwing something through a mirror, and the Holy Spirit was just telling me to cover the mirror. Okay. I remember when I had people coming to my house, they were like, "Why you cover that mirror? Why did you cover that mirror?" I had another mirror that used to face my bed. It was a floor, it's like the little floor to the door mirror. So I had that one on the floor, but it was facing my bed. And I ended up covering that. As a matter of fact, I moved that one out of the way, y'all. Um, and so, yeah, I was just like, oh no, um, can't have no parts in that. Can't have no parts in that whatsoever. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be done. It was just weird. And so I can see myself, I can see people warning me now. At first when people were coming out of woodwork, I'm like, what are they talking about? What's going on? It was almost like I was in a trance. Okay, it was almost like I was in a trance. Um, Another thing about this is that y'all, no matter what I did, things would turn out bad for me. I could be the smartest one in the room. They would love me at the beginning, and the next minute, everything turns crazy. Or I remember working 2 jobs and still couldn't pay my rent, y'all. Something would happen, car breakdowns, transportation, all kind of stuff would happen to where all my funds are getting swallowed up. Okay. I would also have like relatives that all of a sudden needed money. I stopped doing that too, cause yeah. And it'll be only the times when I'm about to get something big or I need something, and something happens where a car breakdown or something like that. So, I said, oh no, that can't be my portion. That cannot be my portion. So, but this was happening over and over, and I couldn't put it together. I couldn't see it. I couldn't. It was all kind of crazy. Just, oh Lord, just kind of craziness um, going on. And this was after that, y'all. I mean, my whole livelihood was going crazy. I remember that when I was late on my rent, I was like, okay, asking them to give me 2 weeks. It was the first of the month. They asked for the thing. Usually you'll have a grace period. And I know for the state of Indiana, they allow you to have that grace period like until the 5th before they even give you late fees. This person was trying to put me out all of a sudden on rent day on the 1st. Okay, papers were already filed on the 1st to get me out, and they was like, oh, we gotta wait like 13 days before we even have a court date, y'all. It was so crazy, and I'm like telling them like it's only been this, I get my check on like the 14th. It was that kind of thing. Everywhere it was people overlooking me. I would get a job. Y'all, I would get a job. I would get hired for the job. My resume would be great. They would love it. And then when I get there, they would act like they never heard of my name. Okay? It wasn't like I was telling anyone this is my isolation time. Like, I was literally just praying to God and going. Like, y'all, I ended up being homeless. It was all kind of crazy stuff. All kind of crazy stuff. With my ex, like, all of a sudden the issues that he had before, that he hadn't even suffered from for years, came back. He was a recovering addict, and that was over 20 years, y'all. This was before I was even in the picture, okay, y'all? I'm not even that doggone old, but he was older than me. All of a sudden, out of the blue, this came back, okay? Because of this, because of evil at work, like I'm telling y'all, it's so real. And so, I literally was just dealing with bad things over and over and over. And not only that, crazy. What was even weird, and now that I see it now, the only person that I could talk to about this was the person that was one of the people that was doing the most to me, the most evil, and the most vile things to me. And God just started bringing that to my remembrance a couple of days ago. And I remember this lady because it was like when I first met her, I didn't really want to have anything to do with her because I did not like her energy. I didn't have anything, people like, oh, I just look at her, I don't like her. I feel her energy, and I did not like her. Even though she was very smart, very intelligent, I did not like her right off the bat. Now, as time went on, I ended up liking it. I was like, I don't know, well, maybe it was just something that she just stood out in me. But I remember that yucky feeling, that energy, and that energy kept coming up. When I started finding out that this person was shifting and taking other people's energy, including mine, and like it was almost like a mirroring and portraying it, and doing a whole bunch of other swapping stuff. So, but that's not what this video is about. It's about going through all of this and finding clarity. Because when you go through this, you can feel like you are losing your mind. And a lot of these people, when they're doing crazy stuff to you, this is what I had happen. I had one person that was evil. They felt like they wanted to get revenge because they felt like I did something to them, which I didn't intentionally do because I didn't know. And so they went after me. But most of these people, you don't even have to do nothing. They just can be jealous of you, and they'll do this stuff to you. And so what happened to me was that this person was doing wickedness. Then there was other people who were more of on the spiritual side, like divining and all that other stuff, and they were more tapped into the spiritual realm way farther than I was. And they're older, and they see other gifts that are being opened. So now they're trying to spiritually rob my ass. Okay, excuse my language, excuse my French, but yes, they are literally trying to rob me, and not trying, because some of them did. Some of it did. I couldn't even explain it. I saw it when it was transpiring. That's the crazy part about it. Now God is bringing everything to my remembrance. That's how I know I'm gonna be okay, because it was only God that kept me. And it was only God that showed me. God had already shown me this doggone process and how He was showing me how it was gonna be. I did not understand it. This was way before all this kicked off. And so, it's amazing how God will bring people into your life that'll see things and try to put things back in order and be on the side of right. Be on the side of a righteous, on the side of right, holding a level of integrity. I'm not saying that we are perfect, but it does take a strong person to live out a level of integrity, okay? And that's across the board. It doesn't. I'm not saying whatever spiritual walk you chose, okay? There's ways to govern yourself. Well, there's ways that we think that we govern ourselves. You can govern yourself any way you want because there are people who govern themselves any way they want. But there is a thing called weighing the balances, the scales, making things even and just. And that does happen, and some people always want to try to bypass that. You know, people do kind of wicked things and things that are not nice, not cool, not even, not of God. They'll try to always pass the book when it's time for them to pay the piper. And so that's what I was running into. I was running into people who saw my wounds, and you would think they would actually act like they're coming to help, and they were coming to rip and shred a part, and rip to shreds. Okay? I think that's why, I really do believe that's why God says, guard your heart, because out of it comes the fruit of life, because that is so true. When people know that, they will try to manipulate you and try to literally get things out of you, physically and most of all spiritually. Okay, people can see that you have a heavenly kind sense and you are really a kind person. I'm not saying perfect because I'm nowhere near perfect, y'all. I do some bad stuff that I just be looking at myself like, why did I even do that? But overall, I try to live myself in a way of balance. Okay. I started noticing how some of these people will put me in crazy situations. This is the thing, because they're gonna if you are a kind person and you really have a good heart, people will try to prey on that. They'll put you in toxic situations where you will have limited outcomes and outcomes that you are not pleased with because you really want to keep a high standard. And then when it doesn't come out right, they're gonna try to trick you and pounce on you. They're gonna try to use it as a guilt trip. Okay, to pounce on you and try to just siphon your energy that way because you're letting go of your will. You know what? They're right. You're right because they did this and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. Okay? They will do that. These people will do it. Okay? I had that happen, so it was a cluster. It was a cluster of people trying to jump on me and swipe my gifts. And let me tell you another thing that what the enemy will do. When you are down, that's when the enemy gonna come at you harder. Okay? What did it say when to rob a robber doesn't come and try to rob a strong man unless first he blind him? That's exactly what goes on. It's the sugar coating, all that other stuff, and then here they come. Rip, 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 rip. So you really gotta guide your heart. You gotta guide it. Guide your heart and stay attentive to this. Stay attentive. I'm so glad that I did go through this process because I used to walk and feel like everybody wanted the best out of everybody, or most people did. And thinking that way can get you messed up. Thinking that way can get you losing your life. Y'all think about Shaquilla Robinson. Did she ever think that her friends was gonna turn on her and do all that crazy stuff after she just spent her money to get they broke behinds out and let them experience a good life, a better life than what they had after she done worked so hard? Did you think that was gonna did you think that she was gonna think that was gonna happen? No. Okay? But it did. But it did. You know? Because they wanted to rip and take things from her. Take her shine. Take her, you know, her glory. Okay? Oh, shoot. And this happens every day. I got a cousin that's in the grave right now because she was dealing with someone who was supposed to have been that was so in love with her supposedly and drugged her. And you know what? When it was time for her to go and her kids were everywhere, this person got up and left, took her money, got up and left. Okay? my own mom. And this is why I believe the person who was telling me this was saying this is generational, because I've always been trained. My family's been adamant about me with that, like about having people being so close to me, not eating, eating other people's stuff, doing all this stuff, and letting people into your space, you know. And if you have that most of your life, you're like, dang, I'm being so overprotective, but it's because of what is really out here in the world, okay? And people are more prevalent and more prominent about what they're doing. You know, when it happened to my mom back in the late 70s, and when it started picking up in the early 80s, it really wasn't that deep. It still was happening, but it wasn't talked about, and it wasn't that huge deep. You know, um, but now you can see it on every corner. You can see people doing this all the time. People are so prevalent on being indoctrined to take things from other people and not work for them, you know, because you can ask God for gifts and to work on certain things, and God will multiply with you with more talents and gifts, you know, if you're being diligent with what you have. But a lot of people are not like that. They're not going to try. Excuse me. They're not going to try either. They're not going to try because they're simple-minded. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. And so they feel like if you are a gullible person or that you don't know anything, which I was gullible. I was very dumb, very naive. Um, you will think that the person that say, okay, I will help you, is really coming to help. And a lot of those people will be even worse than the ones that you came from. Okay? I had that happen. Okay? And now I say a special prayer for that. You know, for anybody who comes into my life. For anybody who comes into my life or comes to try to, block me or destroy me or things like that. You know? And so, um, so yeah. Um, They will come for you, okay? They will come for you. They will go and mix. But it's something about being clear. It's something about being clear that really just separates and makes things better. It makes things so much better for you. Because then now you can reflect. Now you can reflect, okay? Now you can reflect, and now you can help others. Because understand this, when people do this, they don't never stop. The people who do this, they gotta keep doing this until they try to get up out of that game. It never stops for them. There's never sleep or time to take a break or anything like that. Anything like that, okay? They gotta keep going and going and going and going and going. And so, if you can remember that, and when you come out of it and see things clearer, it's better for you. Open up your mouth. Help other people along the way, because I wish somebody would have, you know, did it a little bit more. There were people, God did send people along the way that I was able to attach to and latch onto, and I was able to use what I could get and work on that. But had I understood this or grasped this a little bit more, a lot of this would have been alleviated. But I can tell you this: being cleared, and going through this, you will know that every single thing happens for a reason. Every single thing happens for a reason. And God always restores back what you have lost when it's for you. I had to learn this situation because what God is gonna bless me with, I gotta be a good steward over it. So I really do. Did you ever see something called the GPS figure my boss did? Yeah. No, I'm not. How can I help you there? Can I? Can I? Okay, can I get? Bill, you're not about to order that number 10. You could have got that at work. Okay, can I get the? But I'm hungry. Okay, can I get the sausage McMuffin? Um, can I get the sausage burrito with picante sauce?
Hot or mild?
Hot, hot. And then, can I get Bill, sausage egg McMuffin is bad. I want to get one for $1 too.
No, the sausage egg muffin is not. It just has the sausage muffin, the sausage biscuit, and the hash brown or the brie.
What? Yeah, is that for real? I thought, well, maybe that's that franchise though. Okay, then give me okay, Bill, that's enough. Give me the hash brown and then another sausage burrito and then Bill, okay, get the Coke. No, don't get a Coke. Give me a large Dr. Pepper and then that's it. Doing the most.
All right, so the total's going to come down to 760. I'm sorry, 796.
Thank you. Sorry, y'all. I was like, I had to go get some stuff to like get my stuff to pack for the next 2 days. Cause I was like, I do not want to go to my own store and deal with that. So, thank you. And so, what is this? I don't know. Oh, with the sun. Okay. I was like, what? Thank you. You too. Thank you. And I don't forget I got your drink. Okay, so now I can put all this stuff for the week. Y'all, give me 1 second so I can finish this conversation with y'all because this was real. Like, I really had to learn that lesson. I had to learn that lesson so much. When you get prepared for elevation, don't think that it's about to be an easy ride. Don't think that things, just because things are going turbulent in your life, that it's not for your good. Everything that come in your life is for your good, to strengthen you, to make you pull yourself on through. Had I not went through these situations, I would not know truly who God was. Well, I still know who God is, but I know more of God, who God is in His power and His sovereignty. And what He says, you can back it up. A lot of times I was having on this walk when I was having falls and stuff. I wasn't for one believing in myself, or I was thinking, well, and you subconsciously do this. God ain't gonna do it for me, so I might as well go ahead and go do another, do it myself. But I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Even though we do gotta put in work. Even though we do. But God is just, He do just what He said He's going to do. Not based off of who we are, not based off of work. So sometimes we be thinking we can work this off. I can see if we are not perfect. We can't work none of this off. And if we try, we're gonna mess up. I can tell you from experience, okay? I messed up. And I constantly mess up, y'all. So dang. And the Palace Burgers down. Oh Lord, not Palace. Oh, okay, so anyhow, child. Yeah, I constantly mess up. But I'm telling y'all, when you get to this point, it's like all lights come on. It's like the aha moment. Because it's not you, it's what's in you. It's what's in you. holding you together. It's what's in you that's pulling you through. When everybody see your walk of life, walking through, honey. When people see your walk of life, when people are looking at your life path, and they're looking at you, and they see, oh yeah, you're strong. I had so many people I didn't understand who was looking at my life path that I didn't even know was looking at my life path. And I was walking right next to them, and a lot of them didn't have my best interest at heart. Now y'all look at it. They was only around for a certain time when they knew something was about to pop off. If I told y'all a couple of weeks ago when I spoke to someone, they saw me doing pageants and everything, and I'm like, okay, well maybe it's spiritually connected. But I remember, now that I look at it, God was showing me this person was not the best for me. And he was just clearly trying to pull me away, but I had so much of attachment because of my abandonment issues with my mom. And this person was very loving, very kind. She would do things that I was not allowed to do with other people, or people wouldn't allow me to do. Okay? And you're thinking it's oh so sweet, oh so nice, oh so kind. When in reality, she was doing that to get close to me, to swap something from me. If I could tell y'all this person's location right now, where I'm supposed to be, man, that's real. And I don't think she ever thought that I was just going to find that out, which I had already figured it out once the later down the years things was going on in transition. Because there were times where I didn't want to have any conversation with that individual, and it was almost like that person was pulling towards me. Okay? And so, I'm telling y'all based off of experience. I'm telling y'all this because this is what I know. This is what I know to be sound and true. Okay? It's good to see clarity. It's good to have that feeling, but going through that, you got to be careful. It taught me how to be careful, how to weed people off. So how to weed people off? Because like I said, the most people that hurt me the most, that was doing all kind of horrible attacks, were the people that were close to me. Excuse me, the people who were supposed to be loving, kind, protectors of me, even younger, all that kind of stuff. And they didn't hold their hand on the bargain. The only thing they was trying to do was get closer to me to take spiritually from me, you know. Which understand this, because there are times where some people don't get it back. They don't get their stuff back. But I'm so glad that God really stayed with me. Okay, I'm glad God had patience and mercy with me and stayed with me on this path that I've accepted. Because, oh goodness, because these people are wicked. Some people don't ever get their stars back. They never get what is for them because they think, well, maybe it's just fate. You know, maybe it's just. And I was thinking sometimes that too. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes when some of that stuff, especially when people do crazy spell work, so some of that stuff hits you so hard, you be like, well, maybe it'll start making you second guess. Okay? People always talk about the stuff, you know, when people shooting out arrows. They don't talk about the arrows of doubt. Okay? When your whole emotions change. When you was a dominant person, when you just went out on the prowl, you going to get it. You in it to win it. And then all of a sudden you super soft. You like, maybe my softer side coming in, which some of my stuff was softer side, but a lot of that wasn't. It was to slow me down. You know, there was a lot of people who tried to put me in a slumber, or knew every time I would go and try to go and do something, I'm talking to them, Not understanding that they are enemies. Not understanding they are enemies. Okay? Coming in as a friend. And I'm talking to them, and all the time they trying to get the right opportunity to take me out. The right opportunity to take me out, y'all. Okay? Then you will think because there are what did this person put ketchup? I know this so well. Oh my goodness. And then what they would do is another thing they're gonna do, um, what they'll do is they'll have you being in confusion, right? So other people be looking like this ain't even adding up. And they'll be trying to help you, and you will think they the enemy because they done already did enough work to get a whole spirit of confusion around you. So I always try to say a prayer and says God is not the author of confusion because He's not. God wants stuff clear. So just remember that if you feel like some odd or some mess or some confusion, then God is not the author of confusion. Ask God to sort it out. God will show you through dreams, through people. They'll come through if you sit there and listen. He'll tell you sometimes audibly in your spirit. I heard that too, where it's been clear. When I say clear, I mean clear, y'all. Clear, clear, clear.